Hello my friends and welcome back. Today we will continue our investigation into the control macros, the most important macros in animation. But before of that I'm gonna talk a couple of minutes about one of my older models here. This is made in 2019. You can start it here and I can zoom in to make it look more dramatic. I can change, okay, there is a cat, there's a walking cat here. Of course, it's not realistic because her legs or his legs don't move fast enough. But you can see it here, you can change the speed of the background. And if you actually stop it, if you stop the background, you can see what happens here. The plane actually moves back and forth, up and down. There's maybe 2 or 3 sinusoidal sine functions, harmonic functions, and I can even go backwards. You see, but let's go to a fast speed and introduce the other airplanes. And you can see here there's a minimum amount of spreadsheet formulas. Actually, most of it is in VBA. If you look here, format, let me see, tool, macro VBA, Visual Basic Editor. It's a fairly simple. All these things are buttons here on the bottom. Yeah, and this is the macro. Actually, what you see, I believe. Let me see. From the top here all the way to here. It ends here. That's all it is. These are some variable declarations. And how is this done? It's done with sprites, which means images. Let me zoom out so you can see. Okay, these are images of the airplanes in various stances. Let's say shooting, not shooting. The smoke, if you see, the smoke is a little bit different in each picture. There's a French, there's a British, and a German plane. And I'm gonna close this. If you look at this is where I start building these sprites. These are all built from this kind of shapes. Like if you go to auto shapes, lines, see, I go like this, and then I can go and type right click and edit points, and I can let me see, I can add points, okay, and let me see, smooth point. See, I can always go to each point and change the sprites. I'm sorry, the spleens. So, smooth point. And all of these are, you see, like, I'm giving an example. This is the body. It's built just like this, using auto shapes and then filling the shapes like, let me see, like this, you know. Say, fill effects, 2 colors, you pick up a yellow, you pick up this, and you know, then you can draw, rotate. Actually, you can grab it from here and rotate. So that's how I created everything. Like for instance, this reflection is just a white. It's just a white oval, and you see how it is. Then I worked on the propeller, on the smoke, on everything, and so I made 3 planes: a French, a British, and a German. Each plane has 6 sprites, and I'm gonna get out of here without saving. So now let's continue our incursion, our investigation into these control macros. First I want to show you in the second worksheet here. You see this one. I had this kind of macro, this, and since loop underscore state, this is a name, the name of a variable, of a Boolean or logic variable. Since this is Boolean, can have only two values, true and false, you can replace all this block of code, this if statement, with loop state is equal to not loop state. So, and again, here you don't necessarily need parentheses, but I put it in parentheses so it's more visible. So if loop state is true, not true means false. If loop state is false, not false means true. So you can replace this with this. And we continue to introduce another macro. This macro is the control button, the spin control button macro. So let's copy sheet 3, move our copy to the end, and let's call it sheet 4. We delete this button, we don't need it. We delete this number. We open, we go to developer, Visual Basic, go in sheet 4, delete this one, and actually let's delete everything. I don't think we even need this declaration. Just go to developer, go in design mode and insert. We are looking for this button. You see spin button, ActiveX control. This is it works very well in animation. There's another spin button there, is let me see, insert, I believe this one, form control. This one doesn't work very well. It kind of lags, it's not so responsive. So I like this ActiveX control. So this is design mode. If we are in design mode, like now you see it's highlighted, we're in design mode. We can design, we can edit this button. If we click again, it's not highlighted, we can use the button, okay? So let's go in design mode, properties, let's call this a certain name, let's say parameter. Parameter might be a reserved word, so param. So go from, there's a minimum and a maximum value for this button. We can choose anything we want. It, when we click on it, can go between minimum and maximum in increments of 1, increments or decrements of 1. So from 0 to 9, which means 10 steps. And another thing, let's I can show you, we can change the colors. Let's say the button color is red now, the arrows, okay, the arrows, we can make them green, blue. You don't need to, but I'm just showing you how to do it. So what is important is the name here. Make sure it doesn't have hyphens, because it's interpreted as a subtraction. It can only have underscores. There's a minimum, maximum. There's a delay. You can go to much higher values or lower. I would not go below 20 milliseconds. Why? Because if it's like 0, when you click once, it might jump several times, several units up. Otherwise, if you keep a delay like 50 is a decent value. Anything between 20 to 50 is decent. Then when you click once, it moves up once. When you click once here, it moves down one by one. Now we double click on it and it generates a macro in sheet 4, because the button is in sheet 4. It generates a macro. It generates a shell of a macro. I mean, when I say shell, it's not a, how do you say, a scientific way to call it, because it's the first statement and the last statement, the beginning and the end statement of the macro. So inside, what do we put? Okay, param, right here, copy. So let's print the value of param in B9. B9 in square brackets is equal, okay, B9, not B8, is equal to param. Okay, so let's go now in this, I'm sorry, in the worksheet, and go out of design mode. And again, you can go in and out of design mode in the editor or in the worksheet here, okay? So now we are out of the design mode, and check out the cell number B9. Let's go to home and center this. So developer, okay, you see it goes from 0, 3, 4, 5, 6 to 9, and when it goes back to 0, it's stuck there, it doesn't go lower. When it goes up to 9, it's stuck there, it doesn't go higher. If you want to go higher, you can increase this max value. Okay, you see, go in design mode, click properties. You can increase the max value to, let's say, 11, and the mean value to -1. Okay, and then go out of design mode, and you see it goes down to -1 and up to 11. Let's go back and design mode, properties are here. Let's go from 0 to 9. And I want to show you, this is one trick. Okay, one trick, how to generate a spin button, a very reliable spin button. The second trick is I'm showing you how to make a rollover. So you can use only the upper arrow or lower arrow. When it goes to the maximum, it rolls over at the next click and jumps to the minimum, and vice versa. When it goes to minimum, it will roll over and jump to the max again. So let's do this. In order to do this roll over, we go here, and I'm gonna type here roll over feature of the button, okay, and say if param greater than 9, I'm sorry, if param greater than 9, then param should be equal to 0. Okay, and let's copy this. This is the upper rollover. Let me demonstrate you. So if B9 is equal V lines per param, then copy this, Control C and Control V. So okay, so these are Control X. I cut it. I'm gonna put a comment here. Control V. So roll over feature of the button on top of range, and here copy this comment and paste it here. Control V, roll over feature on of the button on the bottom of the range. Okay, so, and in order to do this, if param is smaller than 0, actually smaller than 0, then param should be equal to 9. Okay, and we need to go here and go in design mode, properties, and instead of 0 and 9, we need to increase the maximum to with one element, one unit. So 9 plus 1 is 10, and decrease the minimum by 1 unit, so -1. And check this out. Click up, 8, 9. Now it should, when I click one more time, it should go to 0, 0. See, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 9, 0. And here down, 3, 2, 1, 0. And if I click down again, it shouldn't go to -1, should go to 9. You see? This is bottom rollover, and top rollover. Another thing I want to show you is how to make a very cool non-linear lookup table, because sometimes in a lot of these models, these animated models, you don't just need a parameter to go linearly from 0 to 10 or to 100 into one increment, 1, 2, 3, 4. You maybe want something like 1, 2, 5, 10, 20, 50, 100, kind of like a logarithmic thing. This is very useful, is used in electronics, in oscilloscopes. If you look at the buttons, is always like, say, 1 microseconds, 2 microseconds, 5 microseconds, 10 microseconds, and then 20 microseconds. It's like this. So let's make a lookup table here. Define an array. Let's say let's call this param. Okay, it didn't like that name. So param array is equal to array, and here let's in the array, for again, param can move from 0 to 9. Okay, because if it moves to 10, so higher than 9, is becoming 0. If it goes below 0, it's going to 9. So between 0 to 9. So we need 10 values here. Let's say we can put 1.2534, okay? Then 2.456. Then let's put some text. This is a test, okay? Then let's put here another text, woo. Okay, then let's put another text, so 0, 1, 2, 3, 4. Then let's put param. So param is just the parameter. When is it can be between 0 and 9. Then again param. Then let me see, 0, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 7.77, 8.88, and then param again. Okay, so, and B8 instead of param, let's say, is equal to this array, Control C, of having as argument param. What did I do here? I defined an array. It's a lookup table. For each of these 10 values of param, it will map into an array of numbers and text. And then I say every time param changes value, you don't print in B9, you don't print param, you print param of param array, the array when param is the argument. Let's check it out. You see, they start with 1.23. Let's copy this, Control C, and put it here so we can see better. And also I want to, so param, let's print param in B8. So in B8 is equal to param. Okay. So in B8 we print param, and in B9 we print the array function of the argument param. Okay, so check this out. This is array. So if param is 0, is 1 point, you see 1.234. Then param is 1, it becomes 2.4, whatever. If param is 2, it becomes, this is a test. If param is 3, it becomes woo. If param is 4, it becomes 4, written 4. If param is 5, becomes param. If param is 6, becomes param right here. If param is 7, becomes 7.77. If param is 8, becomes 8.88. If param is 9, it becomes param, which is 9. So this is another trick, okay? Very, very important. So this tutorial will learn 3 important tricks, actually 4. One was to replace all these complicated if statements with just an inversion, like this, what was this, loop state is equal to not loop state. So that will toggle the loop state parameter from false to true and back from true to false. Then second trick we learn this tutorial is how to make a button and how to customize it. The third trick is how to do a rollover, upper rollover and lower rollover right here. And the fourth trick, let me see, the fourth trick is how to make this non-linear, this lookup table. So we don't just use param, we use an array which takes param as an argument. This being said, I'm gonna save this and you will be able to download this. Thanks for watching and see you in the next tutorial.